speaker, Andrew Avalos. He's an Icon agent, certified success coach. And I'm just going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Andrew. Why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself and get into the content?
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. I was in Cabo with Tom last week, and he asked me to speak today on today's meeting. So I hope to be able to bring you some value. My name is Andrew Avalos. I've been in the business just about 2 decades. A little bit of background. I'm a certified success coach with success coaching, and I'm an Icon agent with DXP Realty. I've been building an organization here. I'm a outstanding life member of the Sacramento Association of Realtors. I have flipped over 160 homes. I have built homes from the ground up. In 2016, I purchased a bunch of lots and decided that I was going to build some houses after having an experience putting together a burnt home. So have a great deal of experience in real estate, and just kind of want to talk to you all about really kind of where you are in your real estate career, establishing yourself from the very, very beginning. I get asked a lot, like, how is it that you see guys like Tom that have been hugely successful? There's a lot of agents in the business that have been hugely successful, and they just kind of seem to have this level of success year over year over year, and every year will build on itself. I'm trying to get the view here so that I can see everyone. But if I could get kind of a showing of hands, how many of you have been in the business more than 10 years? Wonderful. And so we have some seasoned agents on the call. So I'm going to just get right into this. And I want to just start talking about mindset. One of the things is, some of you guys may know that, the Department of Real Estate, and, when you got your real estate license, nobody ever really told, agents that you are now the president and CEO of your own company. And having a mindset of the president and CEO of your own corporation, and realizing that you yourself are in charge of taking this corporation, this small corporation, this startup, to a Fortune 500 company, or to, whatever size that you want to build it out. But it really all starts with the mindset of putting yourself in that position of the decision maker to take your company from a very small startup to a massive organization. A lot of times I see agents as I mentor agents, and I have been mentored agents for the last 15 years. I see agents oftentimes living year by year, hey, can I pull another, rabbit out of the hat? Can I make this happen again? And it's always a question of, can it be done one more time? We all know that our market is, the real estate market in itself doesn't stay the same. It's inconsistent. It has changes. And the other is that, where do our clients come from? And so oftentimes we see ourselves looking and searching for that next transaction. And one of the things that I have done to ensure that my business was going to stay steady and focused is I started to design my real estate career from the very beginning as to the type of business that I wanted to have. I was very intentful, and I was very purposeful with what it is that I was going to do. And what I mean by that is I have never really wavered from, looking for the next buyer, looking for the next seller, or wondering where that was going to come from, because I was focused and purposely intentful on exactly where I wanted to go. So what I mean by that is, as a professional, if you take a look at any professional athlete, or, if you talk to someone, they're going to tell you who their primary care physician is. They're going to tell you who their CPA or tax preparer is. They're going to tell you who their eye doctor is going to be. They're going to be able to tell you, if they have an attorney, who that attorney is, right? And so early on, I wanted to be that person where if people were asked, who the real estate professional was. I wanted my name to come out of their mouth. I wanted it to be amongst that group of professionals, and I wanted to set myself apart from the pack. So I started to establish myself in a manner which would show that level of excellence and that level of professionalism. So I said, who's going to be my target audience? Now I know how I want to be seen. Like, who do I want to attract? Like, who do I want my clients to be? Well, obviously, I started to think, well, who has money to buy and refer, right? Who has the ability to buy and sell and refer and to do it often? So I said, well, lawyers, especially family law attorneys, probate attorneys, and any kind of, law field, they make money and they have the ability to buy, sell, and refer. And then I said, what physicians know physicians. These are high priced people. So I started to define my ideal client. And once I started to identify who that I was going to target as ideal clients early on in the career, I then started to put myself in places where I would find these people. So over the last 18 years, I have a huge following of physicians, lawyers, law enforcement, and people in politics. So I started to position myself in Rotary. I got involved with the community, and I started doing things where these people would be. Through Rotary, I met doctors, I met the chief of police, I met the mayor of a couple of different cities and different city council members. And I went into this purposeful, and I wasn't running around handing out my business card and every time I saw these people, but I was building genuine relationships. And as I started to develop these genuine relationships, I started to create something very simple called a database. And then I made sure that I farmed that database. I made sure that I stayed in front of these people. And so through these relationship building efforts, I started to build, a 7-figure annual income, just in real estate. So the other thing that I think is really, really important for agents is to really hone in on something. So, how do we bulletproof our business when the market turns? Are any of us right now experiencing some difficulty with this market, the way it's gone or where it's turned to? Yeah, it happens, right? It's either, but it's never consistent. I think every market can be problematic, right? If we're not able to assess it and address it and realize what it is and where it's going. So one of the ways that I have absolutely bulletproof my business is I have learned skills that I can take in any market. Like, I'm not worried about interest rates. I haven't even considered interest rates. I haven't worried about chasing a buyer. And the reason I have not is because I have embedded myself. I've become really, really knowledgeable about probate sales. And through this knowledge of probate sales, I have made friends with probate attorneys. And I get probate referrals. And I can farm probates. And unfortunately, people will always pass away. There will always be probate sales. It doesn't matter what the interest rate is. It doesn't matter how low it is or how high it is, right? Or what the equity value is on property. There will always be that opportunity to sell a home. Another thing is, unfortunately, COVID tested this. People were home together and they realized how much they didn't like each other. And there was this thing called divorce. So having connections with good family law attorneys and having those relationships established have really, really paid off. And it didn't happen because of the interest rates. It didn't happen because it was a good market, bad market. Divorce just happens, just like death does. Taking a look at such things as, I have one of my team agents decided 3 years ago that she was going to get really, really purposeful, and she was going to start marketing for sale by owner, and she was going to start marketing canceled listings. She is actually putting up 2 to 3 listings a month. At first, it was slow, but all she does is she sits for 4 hours a day, and she is consistent with her calls. She's consistent with not taking no for an answer. She's putting these leads, as she's starting to get these leads, and she's actually farming them and going back. So it's not a one call, one and done, 2 or 3 call follow up, no response, one just done. She shared with me that she's created a spreadsheet and she knows when she's touched, and she tracks them on MLS and she tracks them on Zillow to see where they are with the marketing, where if they've gone back to active listings. So she's listing 2 to 3 homes a month. She's not really representing any buyers. One of the problems that she's facing right now, she's getting buyer leads. So we're in the process of getting her a buyer's agent. So one of the key factors is really having a clear purpose as to what you want your business to look like. Building it by design, going after it, pursuing it with intent. If we follow this, then we are never going to be in a situation where we're concerned about interest rates and things that are happening, because these things are very consistent. I took down a bunch of notes. Tom wanted me to talk to you a little bit about how many of you guys are with eXp Realty currently. Yeah. And are you guys all trying to build an organization? No, you are? I see Patrick. I can only see a few people here on the screen. I don't, for some reason, I can't, I'm not seeing how many people are actually on this call. But, so for some of you guys that are looking to build an organization, I was with Tom, like I said, in Cabo, and some of the things that I heard were super inspiring. And it really wanted me to kind of come back, because there were so many agents that I hear tell me that, they haven't sold enough real estate, they haven't been in the business long enough, all of these limiting beliefs. And while I was in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, I realized that there are some people there that have never sold a single home that are making more than 6 figures a month just off the revenue share that eXp has to offer. And I think that we allow ourselves to believe things that are not true. When we create obstacles, we put ourselves in a position where, these limited beliefs start to they start to control us. And so, not knowing where, you guys are in your career, I just want to just open this up for questions. Does any of you guys have any questions as to, anything that's on your mind right now regarding the market, regarding, establishing your business, agent attraction? I'd love to share with you and kind of meet you where you are, where your needs are. Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask of me?
Sure, I'd love to hear more about your agent attractive strategy. If you could expand on things you've seen that work.
So I love that. Who am I speaking to here?
Oh, this is Super Mario over here in Sacramento or Rockland.
Wonderful. Super Mario. Nice to meet you, man. So really, my biggest success is just picking up the phone. And oftentimes, when that phone, if anytime you've ever done cold calling, doesn't matter whether you're prospecting for that FSBO or having to pick up that call to call that, that unknown client, it's the same process. And one of the biggest things is practicing my scripts, right? Practicing scripts. I have you guys are in a great position because you guys have a bunch of really big leaders with you. You guys have Don Yoakum, obviously Tom Daves. You guys have some great people that are resources for you, and really picking up the phone and developing touches. And just like this, if somebody says that they're looking to list a home, right, you're not going to talk to them one time, and if they're not ready to list now, forget about them. It's really creating that database as well, having a database of people that you spoke to, and also having a touch system, but really starting to define, one, who are you attracting? So Mario, when you think about agent attraction, who do you want to attract? Who are you trying to call?
Well, most of the people have been, during transactions. So that's a slow process. I appreciate you sharing, just making phone calls and inviting. I just wanted to hear one of the success stories or some of the techniques you've seen that have helped.
Perfect. I'll give you one now. I literally have a listing in the Central Valley, and I got a 209 call coming in. I answered the call, and this lady, the property is actually a pending listing. And so she was asking me what my comps were and where I went into contract with it. And so I was super busy, and I could have easily been very, very short because I had a lot going on at the time that she called in. But I said, wait a minute, let me just take some time and ask some questions. And so with this call came in, I started to ask her questions about her business, how it was going, how long has she been looking for this specific client. And I just really started to dive down into her business and what that was like. I found out that she was a small independent broker, that she owned her own office, and that she had 6 agents. And this was just through conversation. And then I started to listen to the fact that all of the agents that she had were brand new. And I started to just probe more, and that she was spending a lot of time training. And then she had told me that she has a couple of more that are going to be newly licensed. So as she's talking to me, I am taking in and I'm realizing she's in a lot of pain. And she doesn't even realize the amount of pain that she's in. Or maybe she does. So I asked her if she had ever heard of eXp Realty and have ever taken a look at the model. And she said, yes. She says, yes, and I'm not interested. Right. So and she says, I'm my own broker. And I said, well, that's amazing. And you don't have to lose your identity, but let me ask you a question. What part didn't interest you? Was it the global expansion? Was it the retirement? Was it the medical insurance options? Right? Was it the revenue share? Like, what part of that didn't you like? And so, and I'm like, I'm just curious to know, because like, I want to know what did not intrigue you. What about all of those things did not intrigue you? The ability to build a massive organization without liability, having over 80 hours of live training so that you can send all of these new agents to without you staying up till 11 o'clock at night to do it. Right? So I had her. And she's like, well, I didn't really know about any of that. So this phone call turned into an hour. And we've already had, since then, we've moved the needle twice. So she has 6 agents, and I believe that she's going to be joining. I have a meeting with her husband on Monday because her husband wants to talk about it. So really, I think what it is to reach out and to ask questions. I think oftentimes what I'll see is agents wanting to just kind of dump EXP onto the person that they're talking to. And what I have done is I start asking questions. Like, Mario, what do you how's your business? You're going to probably tell me, right? Some of the objections that we hear is, I'm really happy with where I'm at. Right. And that's awesome, because I love happy people. Very rarely do I talk to somebody that's unhappy. I've never really made a call and somebody ever tell me that this is the perfect timing, I'm miserable. Right. So I'm usually talking to happy people, and I happen to like happy people, but happy doesn't pay the bills. Right.
True.
You oftentimes get, I'm loyal to my broker. He's great. Right. He's my friend. Then he's going to really love you when you make this decision that's best for you and your family. Right. And so another thing too is when people talk about being loyal, are you more loyal to your broker than you are yourself? Right. So really, I think the biggest advice that I would give is to not just throw up or vomit EXP, but to ask those questions. What do you like best about your brokerage? What's it like over there at HomeSmart? What's it like over there at Realty One Group? What do you like best about it? Right? If there was anything that you could change, what would it be? And just listen to what they tell you. I always start off with the positives. What do you like? How is it over there? right? Because when people like something, they're going to tell you about it. Oh, it's cool. We get a lot of, camaraderie in the office, and, the office manager is really nice. The office parties are great, right? And then, you can start talking more about that. What don't you like about it? If there's anything that you could change, right?
Nice.
Is there a retirement option over there? Do they have any kind of retirement option? Do they share? Is there any kind of, like, if you guys bring agents to your current brokerage, will they share in the revenue in any capacity? Okay. Have you ever looked at how much you're giving your broker annually? And is there an option for you to earn that back towards your retirement? You're going to really just get people stuck when you start asking these questions.
Right. Well, I appreciate the big takeaway out of this was your event share, how you actually met people that have not sold one transaction, and yet the rev share is generating them significant income. That's huge. But I also like how you plugged the fact that if that's your identity, great, keep your identity. If you're a broker at XYZ warehouse, great, keep that.
Keep that. You've worked hard for it. You don't have to change. But can you imagine that going global?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about getting out of this little tiny community that you're in and taking it global? This platform will allow you to do so.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I love everything that you've just shared. How do we contact you, and you mentioned scripts. How do we get access to the scripts that you're using?
You know what I'm going to do for you guys? I'm going to put some scripts together. A lot of the stuff that I've done is because I've just done it over and over and over again. And I've developed it. So I'm going to have my assistant sit with me and write stuff down. Now, my email is andrew.avalos@exprealty.com. andrew.avalos@exprealty.com. And my cell phone number is 916-616-1063.
Where are you located out of?
I'm in Elk Grove.
Oh, okay. So you're very close. So yeah. Patrick and Mario and myself, we're all from Placer County.
Okay.
So yeah, we're not too far from you.
No, when Brent was here, I would drive up there every Thursday.
Oh, great. Awesome.
Andrew, can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Yeah. So what happens if you're working with like a prospect or a potential client, and you think it's going pretty good, right? And then it kind of goes dark, and either A, they're not answering the call, or B, they just send you a quick email like, I think we're going to pass, or, it's not a good time. And you kind of get a vague, you're not quite sure what the objection is. I love the way you ask those questions, like, hey, and I'm just wondering if because you have a great way of delivering it, right? And obviously talking is always best, but what if they're not taking the call? Would you send the email saying, hey, was it this, was it that, or could that come off as aggressive? Or like, what's your thoughts on a way to soften the email if it's an email, or you see what I'm saying here, to get them re-engaged?
Okay, so let me make sure that I get the question. So in this situation, you're working with a buyer.
Yep.
And it sounds like you're working with a buyer, and your buyer has kind of gone cold on you.
Yep.
And is maybe not giving you any reasons as to why it's gone cold.
Yep.
And maybe not responding to you well.
Exactly.
So what I would do is everybody has the preferred method of communication. And I think that as professionals, we should probably always establish that right up front. So I'm for all purposes, guys, I'm a texter. So if I won't go long book texts, but if you need me, text me and I will call you. I don't often answer emails, and I don't pick up my phone because of the amount of calls that I get. So I always tell people, text me. So by this time, I'm thinking that you should have the preferred method of communication down, right, with your client. So let's just say that their preferred message is email. They're email people. So what I would do is I would send them a sincere email. Dear, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it is, my intent to ensure that I provide you an excellent level of service. And it seems to be that our communication has come to a halt, which has me concerned, right? I want to serve you. It's my intention to serve you. If there's something that has happened to change your mind or to create this sense of not communicating, just trust me with this. I'm not giving you a perfect script, but just giving you an idea. I would sincerely like to know, as is my intention to serve you, right? To serve you. I understand that buying a home can be nerve-wracking. It can be scary. It can be uncertain. But as a professional, I'm here to guide you and direct you. And regardless of what your ultimate decision is, I'm here to support that. I'd love to have some communication and just to know whatever your direction may be. And just send them something like that, right? If that's but again, send it to them in their preferred course of communication, their preferred way of communication. But really sending them something sincere as to your intentions are to serve, but not to sell them. And whatever they decide, however they're feeling, is okay. Even if that is they chose another realtor. You don't have to say that, but give them the feeling, because I think what you're looking for is a sense of, closure, right? What happened?
Yeah, 100%.
And we can't force these people to respond, but I think that would be one of the best ways to just say, hey, this is it. I'm here to serve you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Anybody else?
To that point, sometimes they just bought a brand new car and they feel guilty. They don't want to talk to us because they just blew a big load of money somewhere.
Yeah. Or they went to the listing agent. They went to an open house and found the listing agent. That can happen too, right? But
Yep.
Hey, Andrew, I have a quick question for you.
Sure.
I know you mentioned the Rotary Club, but how did you go about making more connections with lawyers?
So easy, man. I just looked up like local attorneys and I said, okay, what do I want? Family law attorneys. And I just started sending them things. I have bottles of wine going out on Monday. I have 18 bottles of wine going out on Monday to lawyers as just thank yous. A couple of them I haven't done. They've never referred me, but I have a couple of them that are divorce attorneys, and I was on the other side of the transaction. I got chosen by the opposing attorney, and so I served the client well. I made the client a fan, and I'm sending them a bottle of wine, thanking them. They didn't call on me, but hopefully they will in the future. So realistically, just I'm going to date myself and say the phone book, but I actually just go into Google search and then just start to make contact. The other thing too is Rotary was a big deal because there were a lot of attorneys in Rotary, but I expanded from that. And lawyers know lawyers.
With the Rotary, did you start in your closest city?
Yeah, I mean, so if you guys are in Sacramento, District 5180 is the district that you'll be in. So typically the Rotary district is going to encompass, it's all going to be Placer County, Elk Grove, Sacramento. So just join your local Rotary club. And once you're a member, you can visit, because there's weekly meetings. You can visit club to club and start to get to know people. The thing about Rotary is don't go into it with a business mindset. Like you're going to go in there and business card handing out mindset. Like I'm going to go in there and hand out my cards and everybody's going to know me. The best way to build relationships through Rotary is to really be giving back. Most Rotarians, I would say, are there for that reason. They're there to serve their community. So it's not all hard work. It's, going to wine pouring events. It's going to, local events where the community is involved and they're like, hey, this guy's pretty cool. Somebody that might be an elderly person that needs a yard cleanup, and you got a small yard and 40 Rotarians show up with donuts and coffee in the morning, right? Everybody does a little pick of the shovel and the yards looks beautiful in a few minutes, but you have that camaraderie. That's really what it was about for me.
Okay, thank you.
I think we're out of time. Is there anyone else? I hope you guys found this useful.
It was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Andrew. This was awesome.
Thanks. And again, like if anyone wants to reach out to me, I'm happy to answer any more questions. I totally believe we're all one big fire. So yeah, let's go, you guys. Let's go, let's grow, and wish you all a happy Easter.
All right, thanks, Andrew.
Happy
Everybody,
Easter
don't
to you
forget
too.
to log into Dial for Dollars at 9:45. The link is in the chat now, and you've got your inspiration. Time to put in the perspiration. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.